Springfield, Ohio has now become the center of false allegations about Haitian immigrants eating pets. And it's leading to bomb threats in the town and growing fear among residents. CNN's Brian Todd reports on how the baseless claim took off after former President Trump brought it up in last week's presidential debate. Brian, update our viewers.
Wolf, just today, tensions in Springfield have been ramped up. The threats have increased because of these false rumors that have been amplified by Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. And we got word a short time ago that officials had to take urgent action at schools there. 2 elementary schools in Springfield, Ohio, evacuated today. 2 college campuses there, Clark State College and Wittenberg University, shut down. Classes being held virtually because of bomb and shooting threats. Some of the threats targeting the Haitian communities at the schools and in town.
A bomb threat, particularly one that disrupts something like a school, is a very serious crime. It's felony. So whoever's responsible, knock it off. You could go to prison on this.
Government buildings in Springfield have also received threats in recent days. The threats come in the wake of a disturbing sequence of falsehoods about the Haitian community in Springfield. Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance, who's from Ohio, picked up on internet rumors that Haitian immigrants in the town were eating people's pets. Then former President Donald Trump amplified those rumors at last week's debate.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Springfield's mayor and the Republican governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine, again had to knock down the rumors.
And we just have no verifiable claim that this has actually happened.
The mayor tells us and the chief of police tells us there's been no evidence at all of anyone eating a dog or any Haitians doing any of that.
Still, J.D. Vance, in an interview with CNN's Dana Bash, doubled down on the false claim, but provided no evidence for it. Then Vance said this.
If I have to create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do, Dana.
But then, pressed by Bash on whether he created the whole story, Vance said this.
I say that we're creating a story, meaning we're creating the American media focusing on it.
Neither Vance nor Trump have moved away from the false claim of pets being eaten in Springfield, even when Trump was asked over the weekend if he would denounce the recent threats.
I don't know what happened with the bomb threats. I know that it's been taken over by illegal migrants, and that's a terrible thing that happened.
Trump has threatened to conduct large deportations from Springfield if he's elected. Thousands of Haitians, the vast majority of whom are in the United States legally, have settled in Springfield in recent years, many of them to take jobs in new factories. Officials there say the local economy has improved, but there has been a strain on the town's infrastructure. So far, there's been no actual reported violence toward the Haitian community in Springfield, but one hate speech monitor worries about what's ahead.
There are some people that still can't tell the difference between the lies they see on social media and reality. And the fear is that one of them will take real violent action against the Haitian community.
Officials with the sheriff's office in Clark County, Ohio, where Springfield is located, have also had to debunk rumors that Haitian immigrants were stealing geese out of local parks. Sheriff's officials say they've reviewed 11 months of 911 call records and identified 2 instances where people actually reported such incidents, but they found no evidence to substantiate those claims. Wolf.
Brian Todd, thanks for that report. I want to bring back our political experts and get some analysis of what's going on. And Alex, I'll start with you. We're seeing both Trump and Vance double down on these conspiracies that they're promoting right now, which have no basis in fact. These Haitian immigrants in Springfield are there legally. They got permission from the U.S. government to live there. Why do you think they're doubling down on this?
Well, because it's been a truism throughout all of Trump's entire political career that when there is a moment where maybe he had a bad moment like he had at the debate, he'll go and he'll throw out anything, often race baiting or potentially untrue facts, and then basically just double down, and sort of try to take over in the news cycle. He's a believer that all attention is good attention. And the other thing that we're seeing now is that just before we came out here, Governor DeWine said that some of these bomb threats were actually coming from overseas, from foreign sources, showing that foreign actors are taking advantage of the chaos stewed and making people panic in this small town.
Yeah, it's so worrisome indeed. Jeff, what do you make of this remarkable admission we heard from Senator J.D. Vance that he was willing to, quote, create stories in order to get media attention?
Well, look, it's extraordinary, even the fact that someone running for the vice president of the United States would create stories and create this narrative. But it's even more so because they're his constituents. He's this senator from Ohio. He grew up less than about an hour or so from there. So that is what I just define extraordinary, not trying to use his federal office to try and help constituents, but try and shine this light of mistruths on there. I mean, I think that Governor DeWine, a Republican, and the mayor, a Republican, are asking outside officials to stop making up these claims that are really just inciting not just residents, but it's become a magnet for all types of misbehaviors and all types of people looking for trouble and problems. But I think the most extraordinary thing is this is where J.D. Vance is from.
He's
and
the
instead
senator,
of trying to
yeah.
help, he said he's creating these stories. But all the while, this is also a strategy to keep the conversation on immigration and trying to scare voters here. So it's not as much of an accident as it may look.
But it's not a conversation about immigration, right? That is what disinformation does. And this is a classic example. This is dangerous. It is racist. It is false. There is no fact. But the whole point of this is to distort the truth. And we've seen this before several times coming up to an election where there is race baiting and false rhetoric about immigrants, scapegoating immigrants, to distract from the fact that there's not a real policy, right? If you're someone living in Springfield, you should be saying to yourself, well, I don't think I heard real policy about immigration. It's not about immigration. It's about a political tactic that is designed to weaponize disinformation. You had the Proud Boys and the KKK marching in the streets this weekend. People were so terrified that they wouldn't let their children out of their homes. So to the conversation we were just having, it is shameful. Donald Trump knows the impact that this rhetoric can have and is having on this community. As he's complaining about it had on him, they should stop it. It's endangering people's lives.
Where I come from,
You're a former Republican congressman.
Yeah. Where I come from, knowingly creating a false story is called lying.
Yeah.
And this is really outrageous. And one lesson I learned in public life really early is I never got in trouble for what I never said. And sometimes, you just got to button it and not post every random thought that's horrible or say things like we've just heard about the Haitian community, because there are real consequences. Now, obviously things are happening. Schools are closing, bomb threats, whatever. There are consequences.
Yeah, serious consequences. The Republican governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine, a man you know, he's speaking out very aggressively against these various conspiracy theories promoted by the former president and the senator from Ohio right now. Should more Republicans be speaking out?
Absolutely, they should be condemning this. This is outrageous. I mean, this is your own community you're talking about. If I'm an Ohio Republican, I'm saying, we have nice people in our state. They don't eat their pets. I mean, these are good, honorable people, and it's simply not true. And it puts a stain on Ohio unfairly.
Businesses in Ohio actually recruited these Haitian migrants because people in the town would not take the jobs because they're too manual. It's manual labor. People didn't want to do it, so they had a labor shortage. That's part of why people came there. So they're legally, they were recruited to come there.
You think, Jeff, there's any reason to think these claims about immigrants eating dogs and cats and other pets are going to eventually hurt the GOP ticket?
I would be very surprised. I mean, potentially on the margins with some undecided voters or the moderates who, may not be all on board with the Harris policies, but they may just be so frustrated with this. But I think the bottom line is there's not a immigration policy discussion really on either side. What has Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown said about this? Perhaps he's talked about it. What have other members of Congress said about it? But look, I mean, I think this shines light on the fact that there needs to be a broader conversation about immigration policy in the U.S., and that's not what this is. But I would be surprised if this really damages Republicans, certainly in Ohio. I mean, this is a deep red Trump country.
It's not like this is the first time that Trump has just thrown out sort of this chum into the water. And, is nativism too good to check? And now they're talking about, and now they've just justified it because they say, well, now you know what's going on in Springfield.
Do you think it's going to hurt the Trump campaign with independent voters in these key battleground states, more moderate independent voters?
I think maybe in the suburbs of Atlanta, Governor Kemp has sometimes talked about this. Former Nikki Haley voters that really were just throwing a protest vote for Trump. Maybe a few of them are turned off in a really close race. That could make a difference.